picture now.
Here's Gary Davis.
World citizen #1, Gary Davis gained fame, or notoriety anyway, in 1949.
Gary Davis, le fondateur des Citoyens du Monde.
Davis's One World movement sought to achieve world peace by eradicating global borders long before John Lennon sang, "Imagine there's no countries, it isn't hard to do, nothing to kill or die for."
Well, some sad news. A man named Gary Davis. He was the leader of the One World movement dedicated to erasing all national borders, has passed away at the age of 91. He wanted to do away with all borders between countries, and his campaign was mostly unsuccessful, except, of course, in the area between the United States and Mexico. Other than that...
People like men and women who stand up to authority, you know. So he had a quick smile. He was a comedian. And in a way, he knew how to enjoy things too. Fortunately, if he hadn't had a sense of humor, I guess he couldn't have stood it at all.
So this is where we're going to do your show, Gary.
Charlie Chaplin on the marquee. That's fantastic. We were brought up on Charlie Chaplin. He called himself a world citizen.
Thank you. You are about to hear from an everyday man with an extraordinary life story. A story that may well give us a roadmap to a better future. He was an actor, a song and dance man who leapt off the Broadway stage onto the world stage in 1948, taking on cops, border guards, armies, and whole nations, showing us that we don't have to be awed by their props of power and control. We don't have to accept a world ravaged by war and plunging towards environmental disaster. For 65 years, as a citizen of no nation, only the world, Gary Davis made his own props of freedom, demonstrating that we, the people, can tear down the walls of oppression and write our own story. We can build a world that is constructive for all and destructive to none. As Vermont author Abigail Stone put it, Gary Davis opens the doors of our personal jail cells, hands us the rusty old key, and says, "Don't forget to dance on the way out." So now here he is, the man Buckminster Fuller called the New World Man, Mr. Gary Davis.
I'm very appreciative of the fact that you're here as an audience and I'm here to entertain you, so it's like a temple. You know, it's like a cathedral. All actors feel the same way. And what we get from you, we get that attention. We get that electricity. We get that feeling back, and it feeds us. So what do I need this for? My real dream was to star in a Broadway show. I dreamt about that from almost day one. And at 19, I got my big break. Well, break. I got in the chorus. I got in the chorus of Let's Face It, a big show on Broadway at 19 years old. Well, we were in Boston, and I went to the producer. I said, "I'd like to understudy Danny Kaye." He said, "What? You can't. Nobody can do Danny Kaye." I said, "Well, it's just for the rehearsals. You know, the other understudy needs somebody to read the role." So he thought, and he said, "Okay." 2 years later, Danny gets laryngitis. So I'm down in the dressing room. Down comes the stage manager, and he says those magic words that every understudy wants to hear. He looks down at me and he says, "You're on." First reaction, oh my God, I gotta wash my hair. Sold out matinee. Here I am in front of an audience at the Imperial Theater in New York on Broadway. But they want Danny Kaye. They don't want me. Can I really carry a Broadway show for 2 hours as the star?